Mr. Tudor was the biggest one, but Jerry Robbins was an amazing experience working with him. It was tough. I mean, it was really tough, but just such a genius. I mean, he's the one that springs to mind, but there's so many that came through ABT. It was all so wonderful. They're all so different, but the work was at such a high level. It was just an honor to be a part of all that.
Yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough to get to work closely with Agnes DeMille on Rodeo, but also on her last piece, The Other. And Martha Graham was also through here. Merce Cunningham. Oh, that was an amazing experience.
That was another huge one. Merce Cunningham.
Because we did the Cunningham classes as well, and I feel so fortunate to have gotten to do that.
Yeah,
Lar,
another one.
Sir Kenneth McMillan.
Paul Taylor. McMillan.
Misha. I mean, I was.
And even Balanchine.
Yeah, absolutely. Balanchine, I had just a few experiences.
Yeah. And having the example of Mikhail Baryshnikov.
In class.
Not only our director, but would take class every day.
Yeah.
I mean, just enormous. I mean, if you want to find someone who can lead by example, it's Misha. I mean, he led by example. He just didn't have to hardly say anything because you could see what he meant.
Oh, boy, it was really wonderful to be part of the creative process with different choreographers. And, well, Twyla Tharp certainly was involved in some of the creations of her pieces. Mark Morris, that was a really exciting one. Clark Tippett, I can't not mention Clark Tippett. That was really special because he was a choreographer being developed, in-house, and was just beginning to touch
voice,
the edges of his
extremely talented
gifts,
dancer and choreographer.
And he used both of us a lot and created a pas de deux for the two of us. It was so difficult. I remember we were touring at the time, and there's never enough rehearsal time anywhere for anything. So we would have to go to make this happen. And it was just the three of us. We'd find studios out on tour, little tiny ballet schools that could spare the studio for an hour or two, and we'd get in our rental car and drive out to the studio and work on a section for an hour, and then we'd drive back to the theater to do the show that night. Probably all three of us had the show, and next day do the same thing. But we put together this amazing. He did this pas de deux that was just it was us.
Yeah, it was us.
Yeah, and
especially where we were in our lives at the time. Clark.
Yeah.
Clark could read people really well, and he really picked up on people. He was very perceptive.
Yeah.
So it went into his choreography.